That's right, guys. We're coming back with a brand new series. It's going to be a weekly series that I do. Either on like a Saturday or a Sunday, I'll try to upload it. And it's going to just be, game news of the week. That's all we're going to do, just cover the news. But what we're going to do is a little bit different than what you might see on like your IGN or wherever you find your news on YouTube. Because they like to give the news kind of like it's Fox News or some shit like that. They just like give the news kind of bland. I am going to make sure that I'm sharing my opinion with you, and sometimes telling you ways you can get involved to, change things or be a part of something, and just basically what's up. I'm going to give news to you like a gamer, because that's what I am, a gamer, okay? So let's start things off right now with Microsoft Mixer. Now, maybe you haven't heard of Microsoft Mixer. Maybe, but that's okay if you haven't heard of it, because Google hasn't too. In fact, Bing hasn't even heard of Microsoft Mixer, and Bing is Microsoft's own search engine. But what it does is it's going to compete directly with Twitch, which is really good, because right now Twitch is the #1 streaming service for gamers. But without any kind of competition, that just makes things stale and makes things kind of crawl along at a snail's pace. Innovation is always best when there's competition. So I guess Microsoft is here to mix it up. But when I Googled Microsoft and when I Binged Microsoft, this is what popped up. I know, sad face, right? When your own search engine doesn't know how to find you, there's a problem. So they got to get this fixed right away. But one of the cool things that Mixer does is it allows you to have features that Twitch doesn't have. For instance, one of the features is that you can stream side by side in tandem at the very same time in sync with audio and video, you and a friend. That's right, somebody can go to your stream and there will be a bot where you're streaming and a bot where your friend is streaming. Side by side, audio, video in sync is awesome. And that's all integrated into their own website. So that's ingenious. Also, the layout is really slick, really nice, much easier to navigate than like YouTube gaming. And you might notice I didn't even name YouTube gaming as being a competitor to Twitch, because it's not. YouTube gaming is horrible. Horrible, okay? We're not even gonna go there, but it's bad. Mixer is way better. But it's gonna be an uphill battle because Twitch is such a giant. They're a giant, boy. But head to head, they're gonna go. And that is going to be interesting. So kudos to you, Microsoft, for trying to mix it up. Moving on, we got Xbox Game Pass. Pass. This is going to be the coolest thing ever. Now, let me just tell you guys, right? Years ago, back in 1854, Microsoft tried a DRM tactic. It wasn't really 1854, it wasn't even that long ago, but with the launch of the Xbox One, they thought that they were going to just revolutionize the industry with DRM. So you guys know I was an opponent of DRM in that particular form from the moment they mentioned it. As a matter of fact, I still don't have an Xbox, still don't. I went PlayStation, Sony all the way just because of DRM. I was Xbox for 360, now I'm not. But they're doing things right, boys. They're doing things right. This is basically going to be the Netflix of gaming, okay? And when I say the Netflix of gaming, I'm not using it as like a metaphor or even like a comparison. If Netflix did gaming, this is what it would look like, okay? Here's how it works, right? Right now, PlayStation has their own gaming streaming service where you sign up with PlayStation, you pay a flat rate every month, and you get access to their gaming library that they set up for that service. This is going to be the same thing. The difference between what Sony's doing and what Microsoft is doing is that on PlayStation, you're streaming the game. And that's cool. That's not a bad idea. In fact, that's a really, really, really good idea. The problem with streaming a game, right, is latency. Yeah, input lag. So when you want your character to go right, they're going to go right, but not quite as fast as you want them to go right in most cases. And, if your internet, is not that gigabyte beast that you want it to be, then there can be a lot of times, especially if you're playing competitive multiplayer, that things just aren't very fun. But what Microsoft does is on Xbox One, the Game Pass solves all of that by having a game library similar doing. But instead of streaming the games, you download the games. So the games are on your hard drives, just like if you went to the store and bought them. Okay, except for you're in essence renting them, because with the service you can only play them as long as you're a member of the service, and they're going to be switching games in and out, have games in a rotation, or just completely remove them or put some in for a really long time every month. So in that sense it's like Netflix, but you're downloading instead of streaming, and of course you can play multiplayer as well. So it's just win-win. That shit's ingenious. Best thing since buttered sliced bread with pizza on top, if that's a thing. All right, let's see what's next. AMD has a Ryzen with Ryzen. Yeah, that's right. Maybe you haven't heard of Ryzen, and that's okay. But AMD has risen to the occasion with a chip that actually works, okay? It's the 1800X. Now, what does this chip do? What does this chip do, Kinetica? Tell me. And I know a lot of people don't know about the components that go into their computers, but some of you are PC enthusiasts, and some of you might just not even be enthusiasts, but you just want to buy a badass PC and you have the money laying around the bank account. So here's what you should be buying, okay? Either Intel or AMD. That's how it's always been. Well, excuse me, that's how it is now. AMD has been around for years. I know you guys are saying, hey, AMD's been around for years, Kinetica. What do you mean? What do you mean? Let's be real. There's only one CPU chip manufacturer, and that has been Intel. And AMD has just been like the alternative for people who don't know what they probably should be buying. Let's be honest about that. I mean, maybe your grandma picked you up a computer one day that had AMD inside. She loved you. She didn't hate you. She tried. She just didn't know. This is supposed to compete. Let me take that word out. This does compete directly with Intel's top chips, okay? Their top consumer grade chips, the 1800X AMD competes with, okay? So what it does, benchmark wise, is it's running neck and neck with Intel. And Intel does beat it out in a few areas, and AMD outperforms Intel in less areas. But I mean, it's breakneck. It's like right there and there, you know. Anything that Intel beats the AMD chip in, it had to fight and struggle and do combat for its life. This chip is good, but here's where it gets better. The chip that barely beats out Ryzen is $1,000 plus chip. Ryzen, it's fucking 500 bucks. All right, drop the mic, okay? That's crazy. So, kudos to you, AMD, for pumping out some good products and getting a chip that can compete with Intel, because as we know, competition drives innovation. And not saying Intel hasn't been innovative, but you know, this is it for half the price. Now we got some more controversy for you. Seems like video games are just marred with controversy. Every video game that comes out has more controversy overshadowing the video game than the actual gameplay or the dynamics or anything else in it. I don't know what's up with you guys in controversy, but anytime somebody does something, you're on Twitter shouting about it. This one is no different, but maybe this time it was a little bit, they egged you on a little bit, because the people who caused this controversy is none other than Ubisoft and Far Cry 5. And if you remember Far Cry 4, they had the guy who looked like he might have been white or a mixed white person, and he was like oppressing like Asian people, or at worst, or best case scenario, islanders. And everybody was mad about that. They're like, Ubisoft is racist. They got the evil white guy oppressing islanders. Well, they flipped the script this time. So everybody who was hollering about Ubisoft being racist, shut your trap, because they flipped it. Now, instead of having evil white people harassing islanders and whatever like that, your main enemies, your main antagonists are hillbillies. Yep, that's right. Check out this picture right here. We got hillbillies with an American flag. That's right, American flag, and some kind of religious book, most likely like a Bible of some sort, right? They all have guns and they look really hillbilly-ish. There they go, triggering the gaming community. I think this is really, really brave of Ubisoft to do these different types of themes even though they may not be popular with some people, they definitely get people talking. And on top of it, it is new. It is new. Like normally, like they want to give you zombies or some kind of creature as a main villain, but Ubisoft is taking it back to like 1995 or whatever, when fucking Wolfenstein 3D was on the shelves, and you know what I mean. Wolfenstein let you kill Nazis in a bloody, crazy manner. I could not wait to get to class to play Wolfenstein. That's right, I played Wolfenstein in my school. I don't know what you guys are doing, but that's the only class I was attending, was the Wolfenstein class, okay? I could not wait to get in there and murder some zombies. So if you guys, anytime a game developer lets me murder some hillbilly races or a bunch of Nazis, I'm there. Sign me up, you got my money, I'll pre-order. I'm going, let's go. Now next, we have World War II from Call of Duty, okay? It's gonna be at this E3. I think they're gonna have a playable version, playable demo, that kind of thing, you know, whatever, blah, 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 blah. But again, controversy. And this controversy is interesting because, I don't know, I think that, I mean, I love my gamers, man. I like my gamers who are not trolling, who are there to be gamers, who are about that life. But some of you guys, I think, are just sitting by your Twitter account waiting to get mad about something. And this is no different. People are mad at the Call of Duty game because all of the antagonists, and I don't mean some of the antagonists, I mean like no, I mean actually all of them are white. Now, granted, it would have been cool for them to explore the other sides of things, because there were other ethnic groups that fought in World War II. And in fact, there were the Tuskegee Airmen, which were black, who flew planes in World War II and all that. But let's be honest, World War II were mostly white people fighting the Nazis. And when I say mostly white people fighting the Nazis, I don't mean 70% of them, 80% of them. I mean like 99.9% of people fighting the Nazis were white people. So fuck it, I can't be that mad, right? But anyways, they got the World War II theme, so it's gonna be shoelaces on the ground. And remember when you guys bombed, just blew up that Call of Duty that they released last year, you guys blew that up with a bam, 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 like super knuckle sandwich with the manwich. I tell you guys, you know, we did it, we got them. It's gonna be shoelaces on the ground next time. And I would love to tell you guys that yes, the thumbs down on the video is what caused them to make the shoelaces on the ground. But it's not. It's just not. Call of Duty's happen in 2-year development cycles. They were planning to do this years ago. So when they released their last shitty Call of Duty, the shitty Call of Duty before that is when they started developing this Call of Duty with the laces on the ground. So 2 years ago, they knew that they were going in a direction that might need to change. And everybody kicking up sand over the years is what caused them to put the shoelaces back on the ground. So there we have it. But fuck it, it worked, right? Destiny. More controversy. Controversy. It's not my fault. I don't make the rules. We have Destiny 2, okay? Destiny 2 is frame locked. Frame locked across all platforms, okay? All of the consoles, frame locked. Now, why is this an issue? This is a serious issue, more than you guys getting mad at Call of Duty for having white people, or people being mad at, you know, being able to shoot hillbillies. This is a big issue for us gamers, because this happens on the corporate side of shit. And it happens because they want to line their pockets, but it hurts our gaming experience. Let me explain real quick. All right, I'm gonna let you talk. I'm gonna let you finish in a second. Hold up, here we go. This is Sony and Bungie most likely working together to keep Microsoft from giving a superior experience on Xbox Scorpio. I'm gonna tie this all up for you real quick. I'm gonna let you finish, hold up. Here's how it goes. Microsoft Scorpio is the strongest gaming console ever released on the planet. It's true, it actually is. So this thing can run whatever any high-end PC can, all right? No problemo, all right? So this thing could do 60 frames per second, 120 frames per second, 240 frames per second, mathematical gizmo in the house. It could do whatever, okay? But what is going to happen, well, the way it's looking, at least, the way it's looking, is that it's going to be 30 frames per second on the Xbox Scorpio, on the Xbox One, and the PlayStation 4. Now, the reason people are kind of upset with this is because the Xbox Scorpio obviously can give a better experience than the other consoles, but it's not being allowed to. This is most likely because Bungie has the exclusivity deal with Sony, and Sony just doesn't want them to make the experience better on Xbox One, and that's some bullshit. So you guys need to hop on Twitter and get mad about that, okay? Wargaming. Imagine if you could just sue anybody or copyright strike anybody or do whatever you wanted to somebody just because they said some shit you don't like. Well, Surfoch has, he's a content creator, a World of Tanks creator, and you know they make those damn battleships, the tanks and the fucking planes. Some of you guys probably play that. Anyways, he's a creator and gamer for those games. Well, Wargaming on World of Tanks released a tank that he was very critical about, and they threatened him with a copyright strike. But it didn't stop there, okay? Not only did they threaten him with a copyright strike, but they also accused him of being homophobic and using hate speech. This is what it's come to. Companies are getting mad at YouTubers. This is almost as bad as the Purple Mattress Company literally suing a YouTuber over questioning what the mysterious white powder in all of their mattresses are, and they won't even say what it is. They're mad about that. Well, what is going on with companies? Companies are like just getting angry at people's opinions, you know? But, you know, like I say, a lot of companies don't realize that when they come after someone for having free speech and having an opinion about something, they're setting themselves up for what I like to call the countersuit hoe. That's right, you can get straight countersued for trying to encroach on a YouTuber's opinion. You can't just attack a YouTuber because you don't like what they say. That's a good way to make that YouTuber rich. So, any companies out there not liking what I have to say, come at me, bro. All right, so we got a segment. In a segment, we're going to talk about what's going on in the League of Legends and Twitch community, because I'm a Twitch streamer, and I stream primarily League of Legends, the WWII in the house, okay? Patch 7.11 is going to be a little bit controversial because, there goes that word again, because they're implementing a 10 champion ban because fucking sits wasn't enough. You just banned the whole roster now. There's no champions you can pick. Just fuck it. Fuck it. Now, some players and even some YouTubers like Red Mercy like having the option to ban more champions. I have always thought that A, nerfing champions is a horrible idea, and B, banning champions is a horrible idea. If there's champions that you just struggle with, you should get better and learn how to fight them, work around them, how to deal with them, and be successful at it. That's what's going to make you a better gamer. That's how you're going to climb rank. You can't just always avoid fucking fizz for the rest of your life. You're going to have to learn to deal with it and overcome it. This is going to let people ban more and more champions. And one of the memes that's starting to become a thing is Yasuo is going to be permabanned. In the League of Legends video that showcases the 10-ban system, Yasuo is one of the champions getting banned. One of the rioters spoke about how Yasuo is going to be often banned. And a lot of you guys on Reddit and all sorts of social media are talking about how you're going to ban Yasuo. So just by default, when people can't think of a champion to ban, it's probably just going to be Yasuo now, just fucking marketing. Yasuo has been marketed into oblivion. Not banned into oblivion, he got marketed into oblivion. But hopefully that's not the case, because you Yasuo mains, I want you guys to stay strong, kick ass out there, you know. One other thing I want to talk about in the League of Legends community, League of Legends commentator and caster, and also streamer, Krepo, is in a little bit of trouble. Now, We don't know all the details surrounding this, but we do know that there's some not safe for work pictures floating around that were released by a girl who is said to not be 18. And, you know, my view on that is, I mean, if they're 18-ish, hey, you know, whatever. But we don't know her age. She might be 18-ish, she might not. But anyways, he stepped down from commentating at the MSI, in case you don't know, that's a mid-season invitational tournament, because of these pictures that got leaked and the I guess the aura of concern around him right now. So he's stepping away from social media. He's stepping away from the spotlight for a little bit while this gets worked out. So I mean, that's something you guys can look into more on your own. But yeah, he's under the microscope right now. This is twice in a couple months that actual official rioters have had some serious personal matters outside of League of Legends. Now, for those of you who don't know who Riot Lyte is, he was the figurehead, the face of the tribunal system. That's the player punishment system that they have in place for League of Legends. So when people are quote unquote toxic, I hate that word, but when people have bad attitudes or are perceived to be unfriendly, he's the guy who comes along to ban people. And, you know, if you go to the Reddit and ask why you're banned, then he posts your quote unquote report card, which basically has transcripts of only what you said. They show one side of the conversation and make you look horrible for no apparent reason, when everybody knows an argument has two sides. They only show one. Well, Riot Lyte apparently was toxic in person. That's right. This is coming from his wife, all right? There's a whole lot. There's a complete shitstorm going down between him and his wife, all right? Apparently, he was the worst husband in A. He was cheating on her with the younger girls. He was abusive. There's a list. I'm not even going to go into that here. You guys can go check that out. It's on Reddit. She's all over her Twitter. She talks about it. It's out there if you want to know. But between Krepo and Riot Lyte, I'd like to remind Riot that you guys hire employees, rioters, who are people. And gamers are people too, okay? At least most of them. Some might be aliens, especially the Lil Wayne place. But what I want to point out is that sometimes people in games get upset and they have arguments. Showing one side of a transcript of a conversation is not the actual conversation. And let me tell you, when someone has an argument in League of Legends, it's nowhere near as bad as the allegations that Krepo has against them or Riot Lyte, okay? So Riot, before you go trying to check your community, check yourself, sucker! But on the real, everybody needs to try to get along, mellow out a little bit better. And the League of Legends community, yeah, they do need to get themselves in check, because League of Legends definitely has the worst community of any game I've ever played on. But this definitely reminds people that, yeah, Riot has people working there, and those people can make mistakes too. Moving on, there's a sad story, and it doesn't have to end this way, but it's looking pretty bad right now. Revlo, the #1 loyalty bot on Twitch, numero uno, is shutting down. Okay, so if you're an avid Twitch watcher, then you might go to streams and see that people get points for being in there, and they get to play little mini games with the points. Well, Revlo is one of the companies that provides a free service so that everybody can get points, play games, and win prizes and stuff like that with different streamers. Well, they launched 2 years ago, and they're saying that in the 2-year time, they haven't been able to be profitable. And that's a big major concern. So they're saying they're going to close their doors sometime early June. The problem with this, right, is that they are the #1 loyalty bot on Twitch, and everybody uses them and people love them. And if you're the #1 at something and you can't be profitable, you can't make it, there's a fucking problem, man. And let me tell you, the problem is not RevloBot. They don't have ads and stuff like that, so yeah, they're struggling to get money. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna contact Revlo with a couple ideas about how maybe they can keep their heads above water and stay there for me, you, and everybody else who loves games. My idea is that maybe they could go pay to play. They could be a paid service. They could charge $5 or $10 a month. And if that's going to keep them in business, keep them around so they can continue doing the good work, fighting the good fight, helping streamers and people who like to watch their favorite streamers enjoy the streams better, then fuck it. I got $10 for them. And I would like you guys out there to support Revlo too. Let them know that if they decide to go pay for play, you know, $5 or $10 a month, then, you know, you would support that. And I don't think that any streamer doing well can't afford to give Revlo $5 or $10 a month for something that helps their stream grow and helps entertain their followers. So Revlo, hang in there, and if there's any way that you can keep your head above water, then please do so, because you have a good service, you really do. So guys, I'm gonna have links in the description for Revlo, and you know, hit up their Twitter and let them know that you would support them if they decided to do, you know, $5 or $10 a month. You know, it could stay free for people who watch it, and they could just charge the streamers. I would gladly do that, you know, for my followers and my viewers, and for Revlo. I mean, they've given to the community for 2 years, guys. 2 years for free. The least we could do as a community is fucking give back. You know, what kind of assholes are we? We're not gonna give back to something that gives to us. So let them know you're there. I'm there for you, Revlo. And that's been the news of the week. And you know, that's all I got to say, guys. We'll be back next week with another episode, either Saturday or Sunday. I'll try to get this out and upload on Saturday. That's what I'll try. We'll see how the schedule is. But Saturday or Sunday, so start looking for that every Saturday or Sunday. And throughout the week, there's going to be more and more content from Game Gods. So, see you boys later. Connecticut.